Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining on our today's webinar around uh, laying the foundation of your cloud on e-business suite to cloud. Uh, we'll be starting in a short. There are more and more people joining in, so thank you so much for joining on time. We'll wait for a couple of more minutes until we go ahead with our webinar. Thank you so much. Okay, then let's get started. I hope I'm audible to everyone and my screen is visible to all the audience. So thank you for joining. Myself, I'm Shabir Vora. I am a regional manager for Middle East region, working for Evosys. Uh, and I have with me our solution architect for cloud, Mr. Nikhil Mundra. He has been a very senior solution architect with us, experts into migrating Oracle e-business suite to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So going forward to the agenda of our today's live webinar is to talk to you about our cloud transformation program that Evosys is running for our customers here in Middle East, helping them to start their cloud journey, moving their e-business suite environments to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, and starting their journey to cloud. Uh, we'll be talking briefly about e-business architecture when we move that to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. It's primarily lifting and shifting your on-premise e-business suite environment to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And we'll talk about architecture and services that are available as a part of Oracle Cloud. And we will take you into the the advanced capabilities that Oracle Cloud offers with the data center in the region. We have a data center here in Dubai, we have a data center in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, and are approved by the public authorities from the security and infrastructure point of view. So it's the best time to leverage, move your business suite on-premise running environment to move to cloud and save cost on that. We'll talk about the case studies that we have, customers whom we have helped to move on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, and we'll see about what challenges they faced, what is the benefits they got out of it, and how they are saving cost on top of moving their business to cloud. And then we'll open for the Q&A sessions, and we'll talk about we'll answer your questions and so on. So feel free to put in your questions into the question panel. So I'll talk before we go into the details of how does the business suite work on Oracle Cloud. I'll briefly talk about Evosys. So Evosys, we are Oracle Platinum partners. We are into Oracle Business since last 15 years. We are experts into all major Oracle pillars, implementation of applications, e-business suite applications, cloud applications, and so on. We are leveraging innovative technologies around like robotic process automation, chatbots, AI, machine learning, and so on to help our customers to start their innovation journey. We have been experts in a lot of industries. We understand public sector industry. We understand what are the requirements around healthcare, where security and data is a big challenge to address, and so on. So we have been recognized by Oracle by prominent awards, Global Partner of the Year for various cloud applications and so on. We have been recognized in Gartner Magic Quadrant for Oracle Cloud Application Services continuous 2 years now, since 2019 and 2020. And we have helped move around 1,000 plus customers to Oracle Cloud. Talking about our capabilities, so when we say technology is adding competitive advantage, so that means these innovations, these technologies are helping our customers to leverage best of the technologies available today in the market. So things like digital assistant, robotic process automation are actual practical solutions that customers are using, and as Livosis, we are enabling them to use these kind of technologies. We are using Internet of Things, IoT solutions to monitor their assets and so on, helping them to address their preventive maintenance and predictive maintenance scenarios. And as we're going to talk about today, move and improve their on-premise application to cloud. So whatever workloads that you are running on your on-premise hardware, we help them to move on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So that's added advantage that we provide as an Livosis to our customers when we help them to migrate to Oracle Cloud. Now, talking about the challenges, most of the customers think about when they think about cloud, right? So the first thing that comes to their mind is, security. Let's say if they move their on-premise infrastructure out of the firewall into, let's say, a public cloud or private cloud, what is how does security help? How do my users are secure? How does my data is secure? Okay, so these are the thoughts, and which are very practical and valid thoughts that comes to mind of people when they think about cloud. Another major challenge is about cost and skills of re-architecture. They are always worried about that. I have 3 environments of e-business suite running. I have 2 nodes for production. I have DR. I have a dev environment, and I have application layer. I have a database layer. I have integration layer. I have to re-architect all those things again. So these are the concerns that come to the mind when they think of re-architecturing their thinking moving to cloud. Okay. Next, another point, is about application support. What will happen to my application when I move to the cloud? Will I get the support from my vendors? Will I be able to continue my SLAs with my vendors when I move my applications to cloud, and so on? So these are, valid concerns and major challenges when customers think about cloud. And we have answers to those questions. We will be discussing how all these concerns are addressed when we offer our Elevate program from on-premise business suite to Oracle Cloud. We'll be addressing these concerns, and we will be talking about how these concerns are addressed. So as per the survey, right? So we talked about the challenges. This is, a pie explaining major concerns around security. Then concerned about SLAs, how my data availability is there. Am I getting my data available 100% of time? The latency issues and so on. So these are the valid concerns, and these are the challenges when we talk about cloud adoption. So we'll quickly run a poll, and we'll ask your inputs, take your inputs from you. What according to you is the a concern for you to move your let's say on-premise business to cloud? So we'll be running a quick poll question. I would appreciate all of you to just put in your options and give back a response before we move to the next slides. So we'll be running this poll for around 30 seconds. You can quickly select your answer and submit your answers, and we'll be displaying the results of your answers. This would help us to address your concerns into the next slides coming up. Okay, I see your votes coming in. We'll close in another, let's say, 10 seconds. And thank you so much for responding to this poll. Okay, can we have the results of the poll displayed on the screen? All right, so here you can see, so as rightly addressed, right, 25% of you said that security is a major concern. 25% of you said SLA is a major concern when you want to have address around availability of services, availability of the latency and so on. That's a valid point. So, and 13% of you said that cost and skill re-enablement is another challenge. And surprisingly, 38% of you said application support. What will happen to, if you move your business to cloud? Will I get the same application support? So, yep. So we have, so thank you. We can stop sharing the results now. We can go back to screen sharing. All right. So now these are the customers, who have moved their on-premise workloads to cloud. They have lift and shift their applications to cloud. be it e-business suite, be there HR application on premise, be there any third-party application, Java application, and so on. So these are the customer, and these are all sizable customers. You see banks, you see a telecom, you can see and in mining industry and so on. And they have all moved their workloads to cloud, and we will be talking about in next slides how we do it, and what do we offer from our side when we say the cloud transformation program. So I will hand over to my colleague Nikhil, who will be taking you through the presentation and describe about this. Over to you, Nikhil.
Thank you, Shabir. So, hello everybody. Thank you all for joining today's webinar, and a very good morning. My name is Nikhil Mundra. I'm working basically with Evosys, primarily focusing on the Oracle Cloud infrastructure solutions, where we try to help clients adopt to the cloud transformation journey. So that is the focus. So basically, if you see on the slide, at Evosys, we consider this cloud transformation as a very major domain for which we have specifically designed our own framework, right, which we call as Elevate. So Elevate is a program which designed specifically in Evosys for the customers, to help the customers basically to move or to start their journey towards the cloud. So the complete focus of this program is to make sure that we provide an all-round solution to customer, right, which elevate their experience in terms of the solution delivered, in terms of the performance they get after moving to the cloud, in terms of the ROI and the total cost of ownership, also as well as making sure that the solutions which are moved to the cloud are up to dated, and if required it has been redesigned to make sure that it is in par with the current technology. So that is the purpose of this Elevate program. Now in the next slide, where I would like to give you a more brief about what assess, advise, migrate and optimize are divided into when it is being actually implemented in a project. So here, this cloud migration methodology, basically we have divided it into 5 parts: assessment, advisory, plan, migration and the optimize. Right now, basically what is assessment and what we do in assessment, right? So according to us, assessment is the most essential and the important activity which should be provided by the partner with complete details, which will be helpful in making a thoughtful and a wise decision while moving to the cloud. So cloud decision is not like one day you decided and you move to cloud, right? It requires proper assessment and an advisory, like how you should do it, how the transformation journey should be like, right? So also the enterprise, today the enterprise, they are having a different types of cloud platforms available. So depending on the private, public, and it can be hybrid as well, right? So depending on the security concerns, compliance, it is also possible to have it as a private cloud hosted in your own data centers. So these all is a part of the assessment phase, where our team do a proper understanding of your complete IT landscape and what should be moved and what is possible in a most fastest and a best possible way. The next part, advisory, is basically the outcome of the assessment. So if you see, after assessment, advisory and then plan, it's all interlinked. It's not like any of the phase is independent. So assessment is advisory is a result of the assessment. So in this advisory phase, basically the information, we do the examination of the information which is gathered using the tools and some verbal interaction with your IT team. So various tools we already have in place at Evosys, which helps us in giving an deeper insight into your landscape, as well as the application and the workloads. And we basically work on the 6 Rs, which is a globally recognized program, that is rehost, replatform, refactor, retire and retain. So all this practice is basically used for achieving 100% success in the journey of cloud transformation. Now, what basically advisory in advisory report, what we are actually going to deliver to customers is the recommended cloud provider, and that you should go with OCI, you should go with the different cloud platforms as per the your IT landscape, right? Then what application and database selection? Now there are in few of the customers, on many customers, there are applications which are like very old legacy based application, which are bespoke application running on suppose very old versions of Java or in different languages like Delphi, you can say. So in one of our customers, there was a application which is running on Delphi. So now Delphi, to migrate a Delphi application to the cloud, it's a different challenge, right? So there comes the part of to redesign it and retire that particular application. Then the security recommendation, cost optimization, how you will achieve the ROI. So all this comes in a complete report as an advisory report to the customers after this phase. Now, post this advisory phase, basically this is very helpful for the customers to make a uh, proper decision in moving to the cloud. So the next part which comes after the advisory is the planning part. Now planning, according to me, it's the center stage of the complete transformation. So basically in the initial stages you have done the complete discovery and the advisory. Now planning on how actual migration will take place, that is the center stage. So all these details of what applications will be moved is basically selected here in this planning stage, like dev environment, then test, then the DR testing should be there, how the production environment will be migrated. So all this comes under the planning part. The next part is the migration. Now all the groundwork and the complete detailing has been completed till now in the till the planning phase. Now what is the migration? Migration is basically just the putting all the things into place what has been decided till this planning phase, right? So migration is the actual migration of your workload infrastructure and the application to the cloud. Now the next part, which is the last but the most important one again, is the optimization. So after the migration and customers start using the application and the workloads, there can be a scenario in terms of optimizing it via security point of view or from the performance point of view, or it can be also a point that the resources which are already been in place and the cloud are not being optimally utilized, right? So it's a scaled up version, so there is a possibility to scale down as well, so that the cost optimization take place and the customer gets the actual benefit of what they're using in the cloud. So this is how a complete uh, sorry yeah, so this is how the complete cloud migration methodology has been designed into the 5 phases. Moving to the next slide is on what pillars or on what parameters basically we decide this cloud migration strategy. So here we had listed down just 5 parameters, but it is not just 5 parameters, it is more than 20 plus parameters which we take into consideration while designing that strategy. So a few of the points which has been listed is application downtime, like how critical that application is it like B2B or it's an internal application. So all these considerations are required in planning the migration of a particular application. Then what kind of network connectivity is required? Is it a publicly exposed application is required, or it has to be accessed only via VPN? Then what bandwidth is required? Is there a high bandwidth utilized application or workload? Then business criticality, what is the data complexity? How much is the size of the data? And what is the OS and the hardware currently application and the workload is running on? So basically, if suppose the application right now is running on Open Cluster VM, right, which is a very old uh, OS. So all this migration strategy is basically required to be taken into consideration before making a sound decision to the cloud. Sorry, just a second.
So
Yeah.
continuing on what Nikhil said, yeah. So continuing on what Nikhil said, so business criticality and data complexity also are the key factors that affect your decision on choosing the right cloud migration strategy. Uh, what do you, Nikhil? You're back?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry for that disruption. So these are the basically five pillars which we have listed down, but these are not just five. So in the report and in the assessment phase which we provide, you will see there are a lot of parameters on which we take a fine decision on the cloud migration journey. So moving to the next slide, basically here we would like to highlight that why EOSys can be your chosen partner for migration to IAS is we have a team of experts who are experts in using the tools which gives that particular results in the advisory form, right? Then we have a result oriented team which they have successfully migrated 100% of the projects, so it's a 100% success ratio. A complete separate team where they have expertise in network and the security. So a different team is there who will be configuring the network part and the security part. So all these things and our program Elevate makes us different from the others available in the market in doing this cloud transformation journey. Now here today's basically agenda is about moving the EBIS. So we are just trying to focus on the two kind of architecture which is mostly used for this EBIS migration. So the first one is basically multi-domain. Now EBIS deployment architecture in multi-domain, it means what? That the data center will be one data center, but that one data centers will be having multiple availability domains from the cloud provider, right? So now to achieve the high availability, so both the physical the primary and the DR site will be in the same region so that we comply with the different agencies of the particular country and respect the data sovereignty and the compliance SLAs. So then in this diagram you see on the availability domain one, this is the primary site where we have fault domain 1 and fault domain 2. So now this OCI architecture, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Architecture, every availability domain is having 3 FD, that is fault domain 1, fault domain 2 and fault domain 3, which I will be explaining you later in the slides. So here the applications will be hosted in the FD1, FD2, and in this different subnets we have the database, right? Now coming to the availability domain 2 part. So this is the basically failover site or a DR site where again we have a two different fault domains where application will be hosted, as well as different database which will be synced via Oracle Active Data Guard, and the application level file system is synced using the rsync. Now there can be a requirement that the application should not be exposed directly to the internet, right? So how about these servers will get the updates on their OS, or the packages will get updated? So that will be routed via a NAT gateway. So NAT gateway is basically a terminology in OCI which only allows an outgoing connection to the internet, but nothing comes from the internet, right? And then there is an internet gateway also we have in picture, where suppose there is a supplier portal at some of the customers and that application should be exposed to the internet. So in that way, in that case, we can have internet gateway and expose that particular application node to the internet. As well as there is an another option for security where internal users should be able to access the application only over a VPN or a secure tunnel. So we have an option to create an IPsec VPN tunneling, which will only allow the connection to the application via this VPN, right? So there is a different, a whole lot of securities, different options available to do this configuration. So this is multi-domain architecture, which is basically architecture where the complete primary and the DR site resides under one physical boundary of a particular country, right? So going to the next slide is multi-region. Now with multi-region, it's self-explanatory. So basically, it will be two different data centers in different countries. So the application, suppose, is not having any sensitive data or yeah, sensitive information like the health card details or credit card details, and it doesn't fall in the compliance of the particular regulatory in the country. So in that case, customers can also go for an option where the data center itself is in different countries to have a DR site. So in that case also, these things, internet gateway will come into picture, but just the difference is the data center falls into completely different country, and in the other one, multi-domain, it's the same country but different domains. So here, basically, I would like to put some poll questions to know about what kind of e-business suite you have and what are the challenges. So I would like everyone to please vote for this questions. That we are getting the feedback, and we would like to give more 10 seconds on this. There is one more poll which we will be posting right now after this. Right. So the outcome is for some of the customers, half of the customers is having 12.2, which is already the latest family, but it can be 12.2.10 is also released lately by Oracle. So that is the current latest supported version along with the 19C database. So next poll question, I'm just polling and would request you to provide the.
Yeah, I will encourage all the attendees to participate in the poll questions because this will help us to assess and provide you, a free assessment service of your infrastructure and understand how we can help you to lift and shift your on-premise business to Oracle Cloud. So kindly request everyone to participate in the poll so that we can offer you the free assessment service. We have another poll on the screen right now. So five
Thank
more
you for the
seconds. before
responses coming in. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the responses coming in. Please poll whoever is.
All right, Nikhil, we can go on. So thank you everyone for participating in the poll. So we'll be sharing the response out now.
Yeah.
So, well, that's good answer that you gave. So 40% of you agreed that increasing agility is one of the areas where you want to be, using Oracle Cloud or any other cloud. 40% of you agreed on optimizing workload performance, and that is a very valid reason because that is what cloud is made for. And 20% is on adaptive authentication and better security. All right, so over to you, Nikhil. Let's go forward.
Right. Right. Thank you, Shabir. So moving to the next slide. So now, basically, what we will be focusing on the OCI architecture and the services. So Oracle now is basically fastly ramping up in the creation of data centers all over the globe. So as per the image which is being visible to you, currently Oracle is having 29 data centers, out of which if we focus just on the Gulf, then we do have data center in Dubai as well as in Jeddah, and they are planning to get up to more data centers in another city of Saudi Arabia and UAE as well. So it will basically really help the customers to comply with the regulations. And Oracle is planning to have around 36 regions by the end of 2021 or so. So it's really very fast in setting up the data centers. Now moving to the next slide. Here it is the basic understanding of how the data center looks like for Oracle. So if you see, let's begin from the very from the down. So you see in the Oracle region, the data centers is basically divided into availability domains, AD1, AD2, and AD3, like we saw in the OCI EBIS architecture diagrams as well. Now each availability domain is divided into different fault domains, FD1, FD2, and FD3. So these AD1, AD2, and AD3, these are basically physically separated domains or a separated architecture, physical infrastructure. So if anything goes wrong in AD3 physical infrastructure, it will not affect AD1 and AD2. Same way, the fault domains FD1, FD2, and FD3 in each availability domain, they are physically separated fault domains. So if anything goes wrong in FD1 or FD2 or FD3, it will not affect the others fault domain. So that is how carefully Oracle has built their data centers to make sure that the applications, the customers who host their applications and the workload, it is always available to the customers. Now, what different Oracle has done in their cloud is the virtualized network on top of the physical network. So basically, it has reduced the network load which comes from the OS on the server, and it has consumed over this virtual network completely. Now, the different services which Oracle provides on top of this infrastructure, it is compute, storage, database, network, then edge as well. Now, in cloud, you say that it's a shared infrastructure. Yes, it is a shared infrastructure, but how it is separated? It is separated on the base of the tenants, then on the base of the compartments in each tenant. So there is no issue of noisy neighbors or anything like that in clouds. It is completely isolated. Whatever application workload you have running in the cloud, it is completely isolated from other customers. Moving to the next. So these are the different major cloud services, infrastructure services which are provided by Oracle. So we have divided it into basically 12 groups: compute, storage, autonomous database. So in computes, you have different compute type like virtual machines, physical machines, that is bare metal. Then in storage, they have object storage, block storage, they have SSDs available. So different archive storage is there. So depending on the requirement and the usage, the different kind of storage can be used. Then there is an option of autonomous database, which is self-healing, self-driving. So in case of any bespoke application available or any analytics application, the best option to move to the cloud is to use the autonomous database. Then you have security, which comes with IAM, identity and access management, key management systems, and auditing. Also, the security, the compartments which has been created under each tenant, that also falls under the security part. Then there is a different service containers, which is now being widely used across the world. So Kubernetes and Docker is the most famous containers available, and it is cost efficient to host any application in the containers. Then networking. So with networking, you have fast connect options available, where if there is a requirement to have the high bandwidth between the data centers and your corporate offices, then fast connect is the option which customers can choose for. And then there is a database. Now with database, you can host the database on virtual machines as well as on the bare metals. But along with that, there is an option of DBCS, which is a managed database service provided by Oracle, along with Exadata Cloud, which is available. So Exadata is available in two modes: Exadata in the cloud and Exadata at the customer site. Then there is a different service Edge, which focus basically on the security of the incoming request from the internet. So DNS, WAF is web application firewall. Then DDoS, basically these all are the attacks which protects them from entering your tenant or entering your hosted application and the workloads in the cloud. And then you have migration, OCI at customers, data movement, and the governance. So this is how the complete services is divided into 12 different groups by Oracle.
Just to add to what Nikhil said. So earlier when we discussing the challenges of moving to cloud, so Oracle Cloud offers you the complete infrastructure services which addresses to all the major concerns, be it data residency, be it security, being managing your database, managing your applications. So it has got wide variety of services within OCI which can address to all the major concerns, and it has address to all the major concerns that customer will have when they think of moving to cloud, be it from security point of view, be it from database security point of view, and everything. So whatever can think of and any challenges, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Services has got answers to that, and EOSys can help you to move. Right, over to you, Nikhil. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. So now the next part is the virtual network. So how the networking is being configured in OCI. So you have different options available with IGW, that is Internet Gateway, to have the direct communication over the internet. Then you have Fast Connect, which I already mentioned, to have the communication between your data centers or your corporate office and with the Oracle data centers in with high bandwidth and low latency. And then Fast Connect is the option. Then you have different option of VPN for secure connectivity. Fast Connect also comes with two options, that is public connection and private connection. So there are two options already available with you, along with for making sure that if security is the concern with high bandwidth, then you can go for Fast Connect with private connection. So this is how Oracle has divided or provided different options to the customers for the networking part. Now, coming to the compute, which we just discussed. So there are different kinds of computes available with Oracle. So it's a VM with a standard shape, then bare metal standard with X7, VM dense IO. So if you see from VM standard to bare metal dense IO, how the number of cores, RAM, and the SSD storage, everything is increasing. So depending on the requirement of the application, depending on the IO requirement, or it is memory optimized, what kind of application it is, we can choose from these different computes available with Oracle. So this decision is basically will be provided to the customer on the basis of the assessment and the advisory report, that what kind of compute, what kind of storage, what kind of architecture you should deploy for a particular applications or workload. So this complete help will be provided in terms of the advisory report by EOSys. Then going to the next, it's the storage type. So it is dense IO. It means that it is highly IO optimized application, or it is a file storage where you have some application where there is a requirement of shared file system over the network, that is NFS in on-premise language. So that is also available with respect to that. Then block storage and object storage. So block storage is basically used for hosting or installing the binaries of the application or the database, as well as the data files of Oracle database. And object storage is basically used for putting media files or images or kind of attachments to the object storage. So different storage type, they have different usage. So that needs to be carefully selected on what will be suiting to your application and the workload. And with database, again, there are different options available. If you move from left to right, it will increase the number of OCPUs, performance, availability, everything. So Oracle database on virtual machine, then you have option of Oracle database on bare metal, then Oracle RAG. So Oracle OCI is the only cloud provider which provide you an option of having a real application cluster over the cloud. Then you have Exadata, which is the engineered system, only engineered system available by any cloud provider. So I would like to again put some poll questions and would request you to please vote on that.
Thanks, Nikhil. So I'll encourage all our attendees to participate in the poll questions. Uh, that will be really helpful as we will be offering a free assessment service from our side to all the attendees who are participating in the polls, and that will help us to understand, the challenges or the ideas or the requirements the customers in Middle East have when they think of moving their business to cloud. And please feel free as well to drop in your questions in the Q&A box so that we can answer all those questions at the end of the session. All right, let's close the poll, Nikhil, and let's take the results.
Yeah.
So you can see the poll results. 90% of you agree on all of the options, that is to support critical application, enhance compatibility, optimization of workload, identity, and governance. So, like I said, that these are the major things that customer considers when they move to cloud. All right, over to you, Nikhil. You can take it forward.
Right. So now, basically, we would like to highlight the case studies, a few of the case studies out of the many customers which we are already having for eBiz. So let's go one by one. So the first customer which we would like to discuss about is Al Khatani Beverages, that is AQS Pepsi in Saudi Arabia. So they were running their e-business suite application from 11i as well as R12, both the e-business suite uh, on Solaris. And the challenge of them for there was that first it's a Solaris OS, which is currently not supported in cloud, as well as the hardware was very old. Now the challenge was to do the migration, but the cross-platform migration to the cloud. It's not just move and move and improve to the cloud, or lift and shift to the cloud, but it has to be first do the cross-platform migration and then move to the cloud. So the challenge was to move and both the 11i and R12 at the same time to the cloud. So the migration was of around 1.2 tera of database, so which we did using the data pump because of the different in the operating system. So the key benefits which customer achieved after this migration was the better performance, the scalability, the backup on the cloud, because it has been scheduled in such a way that it doesn't hamper their current business or during the business hours, and higher efficiency of their application. So the performance has improved, their ROI have increased, the total cost of ownership have reduced after moving to the cloud. The next is Axiom Telecom. Now, Axiom Telecom is a very special reference or a special customer, which that's why we have highlighted it here. It's not a eBiz customer, but it's a bespoke application which is built on the Java platform. Now, Axiom Telecom, they have a business which is around the mobile phone selling. So they are the distributor of the mobile phones, and their application is basically running 24/7 and all over the Gulf. Now, the first challenge was it's a bespoke application running on the old Java versions, and that has to be moved to the cloud. The next challenge was they were having around 1 lakh users, and more than 40,000 users plus were active at any point of time in their application. And the database size was also around 2 tera plus. And the challenge was the downtime they can afford was only 30 minutes of downtime. But Evosys has accepted that challenge, and they have moved their application to a newer version of the Java. So now the application is more stable as compared to what was there in their current on-premise environment. And the complete migration was done in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, which we have taken to move their application, as well as 2 terabyte of database to move to the cloud. And currently their application is 100% available as compared to what was there in the on-premise environment, and even the performance is not throttling, and they are able to have more than 60,000 plus active sessions also without any performance issues. So that was the success story at Axiom. The next one which we would like to highlight is the Bakasab Transport and Trading Company. This is a reference from the in the KSA region. So Bakasab is basically a in the field of transportation business, where they are largely using OTM, that is Oracle Transport Management System, as well as SOA suite, along with the e-business suite. So OTM and SOA, they are all tightly integrated with the e-business suite system. So the challenge was to not just move the EBIS, but to move the surrounding systems also to the cloud. So overall expense or the maintenance which they were having in their on-premise environment, that has reduced to a great extent by 45%. And again, the performance has increased with respect to OTM being a heavy application with e-business suite. So the performance has increased around 2x times as compared to the on-premise environment. The next customer is Emirates Hospital, which is in Dubai. So this is one of the great example in terms of EBS migration, because this Emirates Hospital migration was done on OCI Classic, which was the older version of the Oracle Cloud, and the customers were having around 20,000 plus users in their EVOSes, or sorry, in their ERP, and they were having they were running
Nikhil, are you there with us? Maybe it's not able to hear your thing. Okay, so I think Nikhil has got some connectivity issues, so I'll take it forward from here. So I'll talk about the value proposition from versus side when we move e-business application to cloud. So as we highlighted in few of our case studies, right, that majorly the first and the foremost benefit that is that when we consider to move into cloud, the total cost of ownership, it reduced down to, let's say, 30% compared to 44% that goes into any other cloud service providers. We reduce the capex expenditure when we talk about moving these applications to Oracle Cloud. And as a part of e-business offerings, the major benefit the customers get is about recovery time object. They have less and less 4 hours of recovery time when we move applications to cloud. It maximizes your solution availability of rack and etc. When you have it as move them to Oracle Cloud. And you get proactive monitoring, usage and cost. You can track how much amount of money you're spending, and that way you can quickly identify that the infrastructure cost that you are spending on premise is very largely reduced when you move to cloud, and you're able to track every single dollar that you're spending on your cloud or let's say your infrastructure services. And in the end, it helps you to reduce your audit length, costs, and security compliance, and it reduces your overhead of maintaining those application on premise. So there are a lot of tools and supports available to migrate your business application to cloud. So there are e-business suite marketplace trial available. There is a cloud manager available by Oracle Cloud Marketplace, and Oracle Enterprise Manager and Oracle Management Cloud for hybrid application management is available by Oracle. These are the tools that will help maintaining your application, reducing your time, and reducing risk and cost when you move those applications to cloud. These tools helps you to monitor and complete your migration journey. So that
Shabir,
brings us, yeah,
Shabir, I would like to add here. Sorry for
yeah,
having that internet issue. So
sure.
I would like to add some more poll questions here, and would like to know view of our attendees on that. So can we do that? Just
Yep, sure. Let's have a poll question, and then we open for question and answers. I see there are certain questions available on the question sheet. Okay, so we can show the poll results. Think. Okay, so the results: 33% of you agreed to have an assessment of your e-business suite and understand how can your e-business suite move to Oracle Cloud. 11% will be ready for assessment of Oracle Cloud infrastructure to explore various Oracle Cloud infrastructure services, and 56% of you said, I'm not really sure. Well, that is a kind of a surprising result. I would suggest most of the IT and the global area are moving to cloud. So this is the time to be really sure, especially during the pandemic times, that your services are available and up and running, and you don't have to rush to your offices to make sure that your servers are running. All right. So, do we have any more poll questions, Nikhil? Can we go for the question and answers? There are
Yeah,
a few
yeah.
questions.
Last one. Yeah, one more is there.
All right. Let us put the last poll
Yeah.
questions and then we open for question and answers. Okay, so we have asked a question that would you be interested to discuss the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure solution with us? So let us share the responses to the team, to the attendees. Well, 11% strongly agree, and thank you so much for agreeing on this. We'll be more than happy to engage with you and understand you and help you to move your on-premise applications to cloud. 56% are still neutral. They're thinking, okay, there could be certain answers that we did not get. So we'll be like to engage with you and understand which are the areas that could be a point of concern, and maybe we can address those concerns on those. And 33% of you disagree. So well, that is an opinion, and we are okay to disagreeing on moving to clouds. I'm sure there will be very critical challenges that stops you from moving to cloud. So we'll be more than happy to listen to those concerns and maybe try to find out an answer why any cloud is not a good cloud for those kind of customers. So thank you so much for attending all the polls and being patient with us with all the hiccups that we had in between. But I hope this session was of a bit use, and we'll be able to get more understanding from you. So I'll stop sharing my screen, and we'll go to the question and answers. So we have a few questions. Let me see that. Okay, so there's one of the question from Mr. Ahmed asking about how Axiom took 10 minutes to migration of 2 TB of data. So Nikhil, would you like to answer that? I believe
Yeah,
when
right.
we said 10 minutes, I think the 10 minutes is the 10 minutes of downtime that the customer had to face. So the application
Right.
was always running. All right, over to you, Nikhil.
Yeah, thank you, Shabir. So basically, the reason how we achieved this, basically we have created a logical standby of the production database like before the actual switch over to the cloud or migration to the cloud, right? So we have done this logical standby created in the cloud, and we were syncing that on-premise database with that logical database since past 1 week before the go live. Now during this 1 week, the logical database and the physical database came exactly in sync, and that is the time during the wee hours of the morning we have switched that database. So very few of the logs were missing, which we migrated and applied to the database, and we switched on the database on the cloud. The application was already in the cloud. It means we have uh, migrated there, and we have kept the application over there along with all the database connectivity configuration settings which were required was already done. So as soon as the on-premise database was switched to the cloud, we have shut down the application over the on-premise and started the application in the cloud, which was already there in place. So this 10 minutes was only for the logs which were missing. So logs were shipped and the logs were applied, and we have started the application. That is how we have achieved that 10 minutes of duration. Because of the business criticality of the customers, they cannot afford the downtime.
Right, great. Thank you, Nikhil, for that answer. We have one more question. So the question is, how much time would it, an Oracle Cloud Move project take, let's say, for environments of two environments, let's say dev, test, and production? So, Nikhil, will you answer that? How
Right,
much time
right.
does the
So
project take?
basically, right. Right. The migration will not be longer than 2 to 3 months, but then again, it's subjective to what kind of architecture you are having. Are you having multi-node application like 3, 4 nodes or 3, 4 node rack database? So it all depends on that. But the overall, if you ask me, it will not be more than 2, 3 months.
All right, great. So there's one last question that we have. Can we move non-Oracle applications to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure? So, Nikhil, would you answer that? Yeah.
Yes, for sure, we can move that as we already mentioned our success story for Axiom. So it's a non-Oracle application based on Java platform. Yeah, but the backend was Oracle database, but it doesn't make a difference. Any application and any workload, be it MS SQL Server or MySQL database or any other database, it can be moved to the cloud. It just need a proper assessment and advisory part to be taken place so that the migration can be planned properly. So
All
I
right.
do agree it can be moved.
Thanks, Nikhil. So that brings to the application. There's one more question. Lastly, from Mr. Ashraf, what is about the OS in the Solaris Spark? Nikhil, would you take that one?
Sorry, again, please,
What
can you repeat that question?
What about if the OS is Solaris Spark? Can we move Solaris
Right.
applic? What about what OS is
Okay.
it we get in cloud? Yeah.
Right. So in case customer is having Solaris OS in the on-premise environment, so currently Oracle Cloud infrastructure it doesn't support Solaris, right? So when we are planning to do this migration, we have to plan as well as incorporate the cross-platform migration, where your application and the database which is hosted or running in the on-premise, that has to be moved to the different OS. So that plan needs to be taken into consideration while doing this migration. So that is again achievable, doable, and we have done it already with AQS.
All right, great. So, yeah, so we do have that similar experience where customer had Solaris Spark, and OS migration was also required to be planned as a part of the entire migration plan strategy that we do. So as an Evosys, when we provide our assessment and advisory, we provide as a part of advisory, we provide you the detailed roadmap, the detailed plan of considering all the factors, including OS, networking, and so on. So I hope, Mr. Ashraf, that answers your question. So please feel free to ask. We are open for another couple of more minutes before we close the webinar. So please feel free to add many more questions that you might have.
Yeah, there is one question where is it okay to move to the only non-production environments to the cloud, keeping the production and do the analysis of the non-production environment? Yes, that is again one of the strategy which can be used in moving to the cloud, where you would like to assess first your non-production environment and then move the actual production environment after you are satisfied with the performance, ROI, as well as the availability of your application and the workload. So that is also a strategy possible. And some customers which we are having, they have gone with another strategy, that is just deploying the DR site in the cloud and keeping the production in the on-premise environment as it is as of now. So that is also a different strategy possible and doable.
Right, correct. So if you're not sure, how your production application would work in cloud, if you're worried about, let's say, security concern, you're worried about availability concern, if you still want to try out the cloud, you can move your non-critical applications to cloud. Let's say your database or your data warehouse applications or your let's say DR applications and dev applications to cloud. That will give you a taste of how things are working in cloud, and you'll be starting your journey and saving a lot of cost, overhead costs that you're spending on premise. So that's a valid suggestion, and thank you, Nikhil, for that. So uh, please feel free to add any more questions. If you're not able to answer today, we'll be sending you an email with detailed response to your question, and we'll be happy to reach out to you. And thank you for participating in the polls. We will be getting in touch with you for the free assessment and understand on how we can help you to move your e-business suite to Oracle Cloud. So thank you so much. Thank you for attending the session, and we hope that this was helpful to you. Have a nice day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining.